Yep. So, guys, if you're watching this live, please be sure to comment, talk about your favorite wide receiver prospects. We're going to go 5-1. I did my five differently than David did. I went X receivers given the A.J. Brown trade rumors. And, it's always fun to be different. So, my focus will be X receivers, and David will have his. David, lead us off, man. Who's your number five?
My number five was KC Concepcion. I guess I'm saying that right. I'm trying. He is not going to be on your list. He is not an ex receiver, but he is a space player with a lot of juice. He's sudden underneath. He's dangerous after the catch. He's versatile enough, to use in motion. He aligns in the slot. He gets a lot of gadget touches. The frame isn't imposing, and as we were talking off camera about his blocking ability or their lack of, but that's just not his game. But the competitive and short area burst translates really well, in my opinion. As you see from the tail of the tape there, his speed and route running is, where he's going to make his money and what's going to make him probably a top 50 selection in this draft. His separation against coverages, he's likely a number two guy eventually. He could be a slot gadget guy right from the start. Like you said there at the bottom, he struggles against, bigger, more physical cornerbacks, and that's why he's, does so well with those gadget touches.
Yeah, didn't make my list, as you mentioned, slot guy. Definitely intriguing, and it's going to be really intriguing how, Sean Mannion and Nick Sirianni kind of value these wide receivers going forward with their blocking abilities and ability to get open and a more horizontal offense. We have Brett Eclipse chiming in. What's going on, Brett Eclipse? Thanks for joining. Let us know your thoughts on KC Concepcion. I will roll into my number five, and that is Chris Bell. Chris Bell is a really intriguing prospect, maybe a boomer bust prospect. A lot of physical intrigue with this dude. 6'2", 220-ish pounds. I think he's going to do really well at the combine. I think he's a guy that projects, of course, as an X receiver. Didn't play a lot in the slot, mostly outside, and I think he's been one of the high risers of the 2025 college football season. He's a guy that has steadily improved throughout his college career, and he's really physically impressive. Elite burst at that size and weight, big, powerful prospect. You look at that frame, size, strength, explosiveness. If you're just drafting on traits alone, I think he could be a first-round pick and surprise some people. In terms of improvement, he's got a lot of inconsistency. His tape can be disappointing at times. I think he has the ability and the strength and the size to be a really good blocker, but he just has not put it together. And I think he also has a really good chance to be a great slot receiver. So that's worth noting. But as a bigger receiver, he's more build-up speed than quickness and suddenness off the line of scrimmage. And he also played in a system that manufactured a lot of free looks for him. So that's definitely a tricky evaluation. So it's also worth noting he tore his ACL in November 2025. So I think he's probably a day three guy who could sneak his way into day two if, he does well throughout the draft process. Definitely probably won't be testing. So, yeah. But anyway, Chris Bell, have you heard or seen anything on Chris Bell?
Yeah, I like him. Before his injury, he's a smooth, linear athlete. He's surprising long speed. You don't know how the ACL will affect that. He has a wide catch window. He tracks the ball well. He shows, like he's comfortable working along the boundary. And like you mentioned, his physicality at the top of routes and his contested catch ability and consistency, in my opinion, will determine how high he climbs on the team roster, if that translates to the NFL. But like you mentioned, the ACL leaves a lot of unanswered questions at this point.
Yeah, Chris Bell is really intriguing. Definitely check him out. Brett Eclipse chimes in saying, curious to see what the day two wide receiver talent looks like if the Eagles receive more day two picks with an A.J. Brown compensation. Agreed. A big body receiver with blocking and slot potential sounds like a fantastic fit. Agreed. That's going to be the focal point of today's show. So stay tuned. I really like my other ones we'll be getting into soon. David, who is your number 4?
I went with Makai Lemon from the Trojans. Um, all of these guys from 4 to 1 for me now are all first round talent. I believe in all of them. He's a twitchy, smooth through the routes. He creates early separation with his quick feet and just tempo. He flashes like third down value. He has pretty good play strength. He expanded his routes this season. And, you mentioned it there, his elite route running and hands. And that's pretty much, what teams are going to count on. He's 5'11", which that'll be preference for a team, whether or not they want that kind of player. Like you said, he's probably not on your list just because of the way he plays. I can't remember if he was on yours or not, but I don't believe he is. Yeah. He produces yak. He's very, similar to the guy I mentioned before as far as the role he would play. Like you put there, he bounces off tackles well with the running back. And press coverage, much like with KC, that's going to be, the hill they have to climb on whether or not they're going to be successful in the NFL. If they can get out of press coverage, if they can beat bigger cornerbacks, they'll have a longer career. But I love the way he, plays this season. I thought he was really good. I thought he took a lot of steps. And I think in the right offense like Kansas City or something like that, he could be a menace.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. And like you said, I think you could make an argument that he should be, one of the first wide receivers taken in this draft. That is definitely a thing. Let's roll on to my number 4. I'm going Denzel Boston, a guy that is kind of polarizing, I think, in some respects. Great size and weight. He's got 6'4", 209 pounds. What he does really well is really interesting. I mean, he's an elite red zone weapon at the next level. He's kind of your bona fide contested catch dudes. Great measurables, big frame, great ball skills, and long strides. But I think he's a better mover than is like what you would expect out of someone 6'4". He's pretty good against press coverages. 82.4% of his targets were uncontested, which shows he knows how to create separation. He's got an enormous catch radius, just a 3.1% drop rate in 2025 with a 76.9% contested catch. He had some elite catches in 2025. In terms of areas of improvement, he's not elite after the catch. This is not a yak guy. He's not a yak king. He had a subpar 11.4 avoided tackle rate and averaged just 4.98 yards after the catch per reception. So definitely a guy to watch out for. I don't like how he plays against zone coverage. He averaged 1.79 yards per route run, which was 10th percentile among receivers drafted since 2019 against zone, which is concerning with how much the NFL plays zone in 2025. But, a lot of what he does well with that upside, definitely makes him an intriguing fit with Sean Mannion's offense. Kind of like a Anquan Bolden, Mike Evans kind of dude, a big body, strong hands, doesn't have blazing speed, but can go up and get it. Any thoughts on Denzel Boston?
Yeah, I had Chris Bell 7th overall. I have Denzel Boston 6th. I have him in the second round. I think he's really good. Like you mentioned, he brings size and stride length to the outside. He's at his best on vertical routes and back shoulder timing throws. I think that shows up in all 22. He uses his frame to shield defenders well. The question, like you mentioned, is quickness. If he sharpens those transitions in the routes, his profile becomes a complete wide receiver in the NFL. So, if he's able to do that, if coaching can assist and make him a little more twitchy and a little more better on the short intermediate things, I think that he could be, a very surprising guy. I agree with you. He is polarizing. It's just if you believe in the projection as much as more than you do the traits, I guess, is the best way I could word it.
Yep. All right, let's roll on to number 3, and you've got out of Indiana, Omar Cooper Jr.
Yeah, the world champion Indiana Hoosiers. He was a big part of the reason they were so good. He's a vertical power receiver who can open his stride and threaten over the top. He tracks the ball naturally. He shows flashes of body control along the boundary. He's consistent snap to snap. He does really good in tight coverage. The next step is just development. And again, I'm a really trait-based person. So I just fall in love with these kinds of players. I think I have them in the top 20. I released my top
Wow.
100 pre-combine list. I think I had him number 19 overall. He's
Wow.
just such a versatile playmaker. I mean, yeah, I'm all in on him. I'm a big fan. Like you put there, he makes some serious catches that just scratch your head. Like you just can't believe he came down with the ball. Um, he would need to improve as a run blocker, especially if he's going to come to Philadelphia. But yeah, I'm actually just absolutely thrilled with him as a player. I would use a first round pick on him. And again, like I said, I think I had him 19th overall. I believe in his traits, and I believe he'll take the next step. I think he has the potential to be top 2 receiver in this entire draft.
I thought he was underrated, but I didn't. I'm surprised you had him that high. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I am definitely all in him. I followed them all year because of
Yeah.
coached at one of the schools I scouted at JMU. So I've kind of followed him and Kamara over to Indiana. So I watched him from the inception, and I've just been so impressed with all of the strides he's taken to get where he is. And I think that there's still room to build there. And I really do believe he's a top 2, 3 receiver in his draft.
All right. Rolling on to my number 3, and we are going to Georgia State, not Indiana, the exact opposite of what Indiana is right now. They're kind of on top of the world. But we're going to Georgia State. Let's talk Ted Hurst. I think another high riser that I think all Eagles fans should know about. One of the biggest winners of the recent Senior Bowl, measured in at 6'3", 207 pounds. He's a guy that can win in various ways, beat you at vertical speed, route running, separation after the catch, contested catches. He has a large catch radius, really strong hands, all the physical abilities you're looking for, which gives him really intriguing upside at that next level. Again, just starting with the contested catches, 61.1% contested catch rate, 90th percentile of FBS receivers, big time playmaker, big time athlete, ranked number 83 on Feldman's annual freak list. He's expected to run in the 4.5s in the 40-yard dash. He had 34 catches of 20 yards or more. David, that ranked number 1 in the FBS over the last 2 years. And in terms of improvement, definitely needs to run a better route tree and fix some of the drop issues. But I think this guy could be really intriguing in the right scheme. He's not a guy that's going to break a lot of tackles. And also his mom is a Dallas Cowboys fan, which definitely knocks his stock down 1 or 6 notches. I think he's got first-round talent. Any thoughts on Ted Hurst?
Yeah, I love him. I think I have him like 7th or 8th on my NFL board, but as far as my Eagles board, I have him as a day 2 guy. I agree with everything you said. He's more of a projection than a finished product. He flashes length, the catch radius you mentioned, especially on the boundary throws. He's just so good. His ability to separate versus press will define his ceiling. That's going to be a common theme with almost all these guys. His developmental upside just hinges on refinement and play strength. But
Yes.
I agree. I think he'll turn some heads at the combine. You mentioned his speed there. I think he came into his own at the Senior Bowl, and anybody who paid attention to that quickly learned his name. And I think he'll just continue rising up, like mock simulations and fan boards. But he's not catching anybody off guard as far as NFL scouts goes. He's firmly been a top 75 guy this whole time.
Yeah, and our 1 and 2 are the same, which I thought was surprising for me because I thought I would be different than you or Ryan. But anyway, number 2 is Jordan Tyson. David, any thoughts on Jordan Tyson?
Yeah, he plays with just a great edge, acceleration. He can stack corners vertically and shows bursts out of his break. He just has real explosive play juice, which is why I have him this high. I don't necessarily have him like as an Eagles fit, but I do love the player. His route tree is still growing, but the twitch and confidence just scream starter traits. He just, like you said, they're just a very polished guy. And one of the more important things that you list on there, and is the reason he's so high on my NFL list, is his run blocking ability. That's one of the easiest ways to get these guys on the field quick. And when you can do that, you can sell play action and different plays. And the only hindrance that I, toyed with about not putting as high as I did is the injury history. But aside from that, I think you're getting one of the best players in the draft.
This guy, pound for pound, might be one of my favorite prospects. I think
Yeah,
he can
he's
do it all.
fantastic.
I think he can do it all. And like all the reasons you just said, 25% slot percentage, but I think he could be absolutely elite at the next level in that area. He can make defenders whiff at the line of scrimmage. Great route runner. He's just an extremely efficient wide receiver, tons of polish, and he's a guy that can get open so easily. He's elite against man coverage, 3.44 yards per route run against man coverage last year. And yeah, you look at guys like Amon-Ra St. Brown, JSN, CD Lamb. Being a slot guy is not a downer. It's not a negative. Like I think given his ability to be outside and inside and a strong run blocker, I think this guy's got Philadelphia Eagle written all over him. And if he's the guy, I think if he falls, I think he would be a really intriguing fit to give everything Sean Mannion wants.
Yeah, his versatility is amazing. The only reason I didn't have him on my Eagles board is because I just don't think he's going to be there.
Yeah,
I think they'd have to make a huge play. In my opinion, I don't think he falls anywhere near 23, and I don't see them using like a 2027 first round pick to jump up for a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the player and the talent is there. And the reason you said you were shocked you and I had the same 2 and 1, it's because we watch all 22. It's because we watch the college tape. It's not just the highlights, and the two that we have, to me, stand out higher than anybody else on this board.
Yeah. Brett Eclipse chimes in, not a prospect this year, but just throwing it out there. Nick Marsh's name out of Michigan State. And the Eagles front office tried to convince themselves that a slot guy was an issue when it came to Justin Jefferson. They sorely regret it now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's never happening again.
No, I think David is spot on. All right, let's go to number 1. Do you want to take it or you want me to take it?
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll chime in after.
Okay. Number 1 for me, which I thought was a little bit of an interesting take.
I did too.
But I went Cornell Tate out of Ohio State, a guy that really has shared the limelight throughout his college career at Ohio State, has never been the guy, but I think he's dynamic in his own right and a great fit. 6'3", 195 pounds, ex-receiver prospect with long frame, great catch radius, not the fastest, not the most agile, not the most explosive athlete in this class, but he's solid all across the board. And he's also one of the best run blockers in this group, something the Eagles desperately need in their receiving room. And I just love a wide receiver that's willing to get his nose dirty, willing to block with the intensity that Tate does, man. It's so refreshing to watch. And it'll be such a huge plus for this new look Eagles offense. It's also worth noting, like, Tate's mother was tragically killed in the shooting in Chicago. And every time he scores a touchdown, he blows a kiss towards the sky to honor his mother, man. Just a huge guy to root for. I love Cornell Tate. His separation skills off the line, savvy, twitch. He reminds me a little bit of Devontae at times as a prospect, just the fluidness and smoothness of his routes. And then negatives, obviously he was never the guy. He never went up against the top cornerbacks on the other side of the field when he shared the field with guys like Jeremiah Smith, elite talents. Can he maintain that same level of play against NFL CB1s at the next level? I don't care. You put this guy next to Devontae Smith, he's a great number 2. Any thoughts on Cornell Tate?
Yeah, he's my favorite as well. I like the comp to Devontae. He's smooth in everything he does, which screams Devontae Smith. He's a glider with advanced route pacing. He just has strong hands through contact, a natural feel for space against zone. Like you mentioned, he's not a pure burner, but he wins with polish, body control, and he's just so reliable. And one of the notes that I had written down was he had never been featured at Ohio State. And again, I'm betting on those traits that once he is featured in the NFL, he's going to be a high volume chain mover, man, because
Yeah.
he has everything you could want in the receiver. He's my favorite receiver, obviously, in the entire draft. I think he's a top 10 pick. I don't know if he'll go that high, but receiver, somebody normally does. And for everybody who's watching the tape and you doing the comps in the NFL with what this guy's skill set is, he could be a difference maker for the next, 7 to 8 years for a franchise. So he is my numero uno as well.
Awesome. Did you have any like honorable mentions you wanted to throw out there?
I think we both had the same one. I'm not completely sure, but the guy who I've been writing about a lot was Malachi Fields.
That's why.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought I saw that somewhere in the chat from Notre Dame. He just looks the part, man. I mean, as soon as he gets off the bus, he's just built to be a receiver, man. It's just he wins with catch radius and timing. He showed off those hands at the Senior Bowl. I think he impressed the hell out of everybody there. He's a huge red zone threat. If you're going to be nitpicky, his pad level and play strength will dictate whether he becomes more than just a situational X receiver. But the upside is there to be a starter. And yeah, I'm pretty bullish on him. I have him somewhere like I think like top 50, top 60 player on my board. Like I really like what he brings. And another guy who, wasn't completely featured as often. Somebody who I think could actually, put up big numbers. I remember him going all the way back to Virginia when he played there, and he was just never utilized enough. And
Yeah.
this season was a breakout party for him. So I'm excited to see what he could do at the next level.
Yeah, another Senior Bowl winner. I'm really intrigued with this guy. His physical traits are off the charts. Not an elite athlete by any means, but I mean, no wasted steps in his routes, clean breaks, great body control. He had one of the best moments of the Senior Bowl with an over-the-shoulder catch from Taylor Green, who shameless plug. We covered the wide receivers. We covered the quarterbacks a couple of weeks ago, and Taylor Green was one of our top Eagles targets. Needs to add a little bit extra weight, but maybe converts to tight end, can play a little tight end because he's a great run blocker. And definitely an intriguing, versatile option there for the Birds. Definitely check out Malachi Fields. We have a comment from Brett Eclipse. Where would you guys say the wide receiver class ranks this year compared to the last couple? Any thoughts on that, David?
I normally do that with the positions as we get closer. I haven't really done that with this position yet. Like I did it with running back and I did it with quarterback before we did the show, but I didn't do it with the like Mendoza would not have been number one quarterback to me. Past couple seasons probably. Love would have been behind Bijan and the guy last year. I can't, his name's escaping me. Whoever was drafted first running back last year, I can't even remember. He's in with the Raiders right now. Can't even think. Genty, is that his name? Genty.
Yeah.
And like Sadiq this year at tight end position, I don't think he's TE1. I think he's TE3 last year. He's behind Loveland and Warren. But I haven't really done that with these wide receivers. They're different, but in my opinion, Tate would be top 3 in any of these years. I think his skill set is that good.
I would put Tate behind Marvin Harrison Jr., behind Ted McMillan. I would put him above Luther Burden and Emeka Ibuka. And I would put him above Adonai Mitchell. I loved Roma Dunze. I think he was my number 1 last year. He was one of my favorites. So probably under Roma Dunze.
Of the 5 I've ever ranked, which I just started doing this, Jamar Chase was the first one I ever covered. And he still is the number 1 receiver I've ever covered.
Yeah.
I had Marvin Harrison Jr. as the second best that I ever covered. Adunze would be in my top 5 as well, and Carnell Tate would be in my top 5. And the other one was Devontae Smith. Those would be my top 5 over the past 5 seasons that I've ranked.
Marina Sands has a good comment. This is not a wide receiver. There is not a wide receiver in this draft that would replace Smitty, let alone AJ. I think this is a bad draft. I think that's the reality. And I think in terms of value, in terms of um, what the Eagles would do, it definitely makes a lot more sense than I think the Eagles going after a wide receiver that drops in the first round or the second round than a guy like Sadiq or another position outside of the defensive line. That's just my take.
Okay. Yeah, I think there's some good players. It just depends on what position you're looking at. But overall, I would tend to agree that if you compare draft for draft, that there's not many guys in this draft who would be number one at the position the past couple of years.
Yeah, it's a generally weak draft, and the wide receiver,
which is why how we might stock up on 2027 draft picks too.
Might not be the worst decision. Sorry for making my question opposite of the title. I don't know if you asked for it. Do you guys view any defensive positions differently now that it looks like Schwartz will be back in 2027?
That's interesting. No, I mean, I think CB2 is probably number one. I think priority Jalen Phillips. If I would be surprised if Fangio wasn't given some assurances that they were at least going to try as hard as they can to bring Jalen Phillips back, or I don't think he'd have been back as DC. So I don't think too much of it changes just because the defense is what it is, and they're all going to get second contracts. Quinion, Cooper, Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, the core are all going to be here for a long time. So the position that would maybe change some would be safety. I think that Schwartz did prioritize that. You saw like Malcolm Jenkins and some other guys come over here when he came. So maybe they'd use a higher resource, but I don't think you'll see that happen this year.
I feel like this is ingrained, and I feel like Howie's going to keep building through the trenches, and I hope nothing changes in terms of defensive tackle being the primary focus for the Eagles and building that interior pressure. That should continue to be what they focus on. Ty Robinson didn't exactly. This is a big year for Ty Robinson. I need to see a little more from him this offseason because Moro Jomo is coming, and he's going to get probably a lot of money when he's a free agent. So he's an interesting name that they could look to add a little depth, and that could shock some people. Because I personally, I believe the strength of your defense comes from that interior D line. And like David said, if there's a cornerback that falls, they probably could make that move, like Manzor Delane or Avion Terrell or something along those lines.
Yeah, Schwartz does simplify everything in the backfield. That's just, I mean, they won a Super Bowl with Jalen Mills and what was the other guy from the Bills? I can't even remember. It's crazy how 8 years just you can't even remember. I think his name starts with an R. I can't even remember.
Rodney McLeod?
No, but he's the other safety they brought in. No, the other Darby, Ronald Darby.
Oh, Ronald Darby.
I mean, their corners were Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills, but they prioritized safety. They just kind of, Schwartz kind of simplifies the coverage back there, and he uses a little bit more of a wide nine as well. Yeah. So, but I just don't know that they would go back to that. I think he might have to change his decisions a little bit more than the Eagles.
Yeah, and edge is one of the deeper positions, at least at the top of the draft, and that could definitely be something they look to address if the Jalen Phillips situation goes south. Anything else on wide receivers before we get into a quick mock draft?
No, I would say the way to sum it up is pressure dictates the coverage for Fangio, and coverage creates pressure. I mean, coverage creates pressure for Fangio, and the pressure kind of eliminates the need for high-profile cornerbacks in a Schwartz system. And I just don't think the Eagles are built to change that at this point.
Yep. All right. With these draft shows, what we do here is we will draft a wide receiver in our 4-round Eagles mock. David, do you want to go first or second?
Your choice.
I'd rather go first and get it over with.
Go for it.
Oh wait, hold on. We have a comment. If Schwartz comes back, the defense needs to be totally rebuilt. We have no defensive ends that run a 4-3. All our edge guys are outside linebackers, and Davis is a nose tackle.
Yeah, it's definitely more of a wide 9 inside. Yeah, it would be a really crazy transition, and it would change their complete way they have to view the offseason with extensions and who they're paying this season. It just seems a little hard to believe that'd be the way they went.
Yep. All right, let's roll. Let's see how this goes. 4 rounds. We have to take a wide receiver in this draft. Looking at who's available, Avion Terrell, we got Vega, TJ Parker, there's Casey Concepcion, kind of where we thought, or how this went last week, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Very similar.
Yeah, there's Chris Bell. Just going down to see who's available. Eli Stowers. The tight end class is so bad this year. But I'm going to stick to the line. I'm going Vega, as I always do. That'll be a running theme. I know David's probably pissed off at that pick. I'm going, I want to go trenches. All right. We are at pick 54. Let's see what wide receivers are available here. Gurmy Bernard, Elijah Surratt, Zachariah Branch. Yeah. So
that well dried up quick too.
Yeah, I don't like that. All right, so we got a guard to start. Let's go Romello Height, edge rusher. Add some rotational pass rush there for the Birds. So we are on the clock here at 68. We're going to go Malachi Fields for the Eagles there. That's our wide receiver. I think just his run blocking and physical ability should make him a really good fit from the jump. Eagles are on the clock here. Number 98. We got a guard. Don't need that. I like Jay Sean. We're going to go. I think I took this guy every single mock. I don't know if I want to do that. No tight ends. I need a tight end. Oh my gosh. I don't like it. Just to be different, let's go Davison Igbinosun. I think I butchered that name.
Pretty solid. Pretty solid draft there.
Thanks, man.
I like it. I mean, if you start off with Vega every time, everything makes me happy from that point on. So.
Man. Brian Parker. Do you know anything about Brian Parker?
Not very much. No.
Same.
I always hyper focus on who I think are the top 100 guys, to be honest with you. I'm never going to sit on here and act like I know too many of the players ranked 250 to 400. And just,
yeah. We went
unless they're just on the film that I'm watching, when I'm studying someone else. But I'm never spending an afternoon watching 6 hours of player 263. That's just not happening.
Let's get crazy. Let's go Jacoby Lane just for a second X wide receiver that doesn't run block, but he's definitely got some pass catching upside. So we went Vega, Romello Height, older prospect, but definitely can rush the passer. Malachi Fields got some good size there in Fields and Vega. Davison Igbinosun, Eli Raridan, great size, and Jacoby Lane, great size. He's like 6'4". Any thoughts?
You traded A.J. Brown. That's what I think. GM Dodds shipped A.J. Brown to New England for a 2027 first-round pick.
All right.
Yeah, I like it. Height, like you mentioned, an older prospect, but he is really good. I probably undervalue him because of his age, but he is a very good edge rusher. And for a few years, he could probably be a 10 sack guy consistently with a lot of pressures. He is a really good player.
Yep.
And Malachi Fields at that point, like I said, I think I have him 50th or something. So yeah, I like that a lot. And Davison, I like him a lot as well.
All right, man. New mock draft. You're up.
Ugh. I can tell you now, you can just go to OT right when it pops up. Even if Vega's there, I'm not copying yours. So,
all right, good luck, dude.
and Vega is there. Yeah, definitely go OT. I'm going Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle, Georgia.
Right, the Georgia pipeline is real. Reddit Clips chimes in. Do you guys see that Jets are reportedly interested in trading McKee? Given the lack of quarterback talent out there, would you trade Tanner McKee?
If it's for a second or third round pick, and they're confident that they have a backup plan there, because no team values that backup quarterback role more than the Eagles do. Yes, I would move him for a second or third round pick. I would prefer a second and 27, quite frankly.
This is the trade I go back and forth on all the time. Like you said, like having a valuable backup quarterback is so vital, and I think McKee's fit with this scheme is a little interesting.
It is,
but man, there's not a lot out there. Like, it's a bad year to need a quarterback, and I'm a Tanner McKee guy, so this is definitely something that I have. 1 week I'm all in, and then next week I'm just nah, that's not. But you're on the clock, man. Where are you going?
I'm not going to be able to live with myself if I sat here on a wide receiver show and said Omar Cooper Jr. is my 19th rated player and not take him here. So grab him. I would be ecstatic with those first two picks. They're two of my probably top 10 favorite players for the Eagles this year.
All right.
God, having to pass on Josiah Trotter makes me sad, but there's no way I'm taking him. Even though I would love to keep that pipeline going. Just select tight end. There's got to be somebody worthy of this spot at this point. Where's Oscar Delp? Is he not even?
He's way down. Or maybe he got picked already. Oh, there he is.
Oh yeah, I'm not taking him this high then. I actually maybe would, but give me edge rusher.
Man, I remember hyping up Oscar Delp for years. I've been covering the draft for so long. Like, I remember talking about him like 3 years ago.
Yeah, definitely in 24. He's so underutilized. I think he'll be a really good player. Yeah, definitely go to edge rusher. I can't take Delp that high.
You could deny Dennis Sutton.
Yeah, give him to me. I don't think he's the greatest of fits, but they definitely need to grab an edge rusher for leverage in case they lose Phillips. What do they have? 3 on the roster?
Yeah, Hunt, Smith. Who am I missing?
I don't know. Uche, Aziz, gone. Phillips, free agent. Brandon Graham, he'll definitely come back. But
Marina thinks a 4th at best for McKee. Interesting. And then he says Cooper is wide receiver 4. I don't know, wide receiver 4 in the Eagles or in the draft? Let us know, Marina. Where are you going?
Got to in the draft. Give me IOL. I know who I want, but I don't know if he's there. Rutledge is gone, huh? Yeah, I'm not going to drag this out. Just give me Oscar Delp, and then I'm going to worry about next position next. I like him way more than his F grade I'm about to get for him.
All right, pick 190, 122.
Keep scrolling down a little bit. God, the print is so little. God, I hate this draft at this point.
Literally what I was. Get out of my head, because like, whereas the previous drafts, at least the last two, I feel like the day 2 area was like the strength of the draft. It
Yeah,
was so good, and like this is the exact opposite. Like once you get in
just
this area, like it's rough.
just give me Grayson Holton just so I can end this night. But yeah, I'll take the deal. I'll take my D- graph grade too.
We need one more.
Oh my God, no. Good grief. Yeah, give me Michael Taff. I love that dude.
It's a good talent for sure. All right.
He's such a great attitude too. I love watching him. Yeah, if they got Freeling and Cooper, I wouldn't even care about the rest of the draft that much.
All right. Cooper
Your
Jr.
draft will win. What was my grade? I can't see it. My face is blocking the
C plus.
screen there. Better than I thought.
You got an A for Amari Cooper Jr.
Oh, good.
But yeah, Oscar Delp was an F.
Yeah, I knew I was failing that class. There's no doubt.
Reddit clip says, "Did you see that Dolphins head coach was blown away by Kevin Patullo?"
Yeah, I can tell you something else that'll probably blow away a lot of Eagles fans. There were 4 or 5 teams who wanted to hire that guy. The hype on him is real. They definitely probably do not view him as a play caller, but for the structure and everything he built with the teams, he's a guy who the outsiders look at as somebody who contributed to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. So he's viewed a lot more better outside of Philadelphia than he is amongst the fan base as far as being a football mind. He's got 20 years experience in doing this. He's a pretty popular guy in league circles, believe it or not.
Reddit clip says, when they asked Howie about CB2, he mentioned that Coop can play at an all-pro level anywhere, given his flexibility. Where do you see Coop getting the most snaps in 2026?
Slot. There's no way they're moving him.
He's so elite there. I would never move him, given everything he does for the defense. Like he can play outside, and he played outside a lot.
Oh yeah, the commenter's right. He can do it.
The question is, will he get paid? Because obviously there's a big difference between outside and nickel corner.
And the downside that they would have as a slot corner compared to whatever will fill CB2 is just too great of a role. He is just too important. I mean, I think everybody saw what he did as a rookie when he came in week 6. That whole defense transformed in 1 week, and they went on to win a Super Bowl. He's just too talented there. He's an all-pro player. I mean, there's just no way you move him.
Nope. Agreed. Reddit clip says, I don't think they should move him, but that's Howie's word. Yeah, I mean, and that's like probably between him and Jalen Phillips, like those are the first dominoes, like in terms of what their role will be in 2026. Does Jalen Phillips return, and where does Coop play outside, nickel, and so forth? So definitely going to be a wild off season. David, any final thoughts? Anything you want to plug? I can't believe we went 45 minutes on a wide receiver show.
Me neither. When we were talking pre-show, I was like, "This is going to be short, right?" And they just never are. Yeah. So I used to blame it on Ryan, but apparently it's us. But
yeah, that's my fault. One of these days, one of these days we'll have Ryan join us for a draft show. That'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, we were supposed to be talking about 5 wide receivers. We end up talking about 11. So it's just what happens.
We have a comment. You didn't listen to the whole thing. Howie said he's important at the nickel because of run fit. Oh, yeah. Just what he does against the run, what he does in clutch situations as a dime linebacker. He does it all. So,
yeah, they are not moving him. There's 0%, 0 chance. Yeah. Unless it's just massive injuries take forth. But he is not going to be the plan going to the season as CB2 as a boundary corner.
Amen. All right. Anything you want to plug?
Nope. I released that top 100 list that y'all can dissect and give me crap for like everybody else has. But aside from that, nope.
All right, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. Brett Eclipse, I just read off Zach Berman's tweet. We have so far covered all offense, surprisingly. Quarterback, running back, and now wide receiver. I have no idea what we're covering next week. Be sure.
According to Ryan, it's tight end.
Oh, God.
Yep.
All right, so are we doing all offense, then defense? What's going on?
I think that's the way it was mapped out because he has it mapped out so it stops literally the Tuesday before the draft on Thursday. So,
okay.
And ironically, he hasn't been here. So, I don't know. He spent the whole offseason coming up with this plan. Right. Poor guy, getting crushed in his real job.
Is that going to be 5 or 10 tight ends? Do you have any idea?
It's got to be 5, even though he's going to say it's a top team. No,
I don't know if I could do 10. I don't know if I could do 10.
No. As we've learned from doing this, when you get to player 125, it is not looking good anymore in this draft.
Yeah,
there are very few hidden gems late in this draft. There'll be guys who shock, but
yeah, not a good year for a tight end. We've been talking about that for a long time.
The sweet spot probably is round 5 because that's just where all of them are ranked. They're just a whole bunch of guys ranked 130 to 150,
and not a lot of good run blockers as well. Like it's rough.
Now the happiest person about that is Dallas Goedert because the Eagles do not have a replacement for him in the draft.
I will do you one better. I think the happiest person about that is Cameron Latu, who I think could have a bigger role next year.
It's a good point.
Yep. All right, guys. Thank everyone for watching. We'll be back next week, Tuesday night at 8. He is David Neese, PHL on X. I am Dives, Mr. Crockpot. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Stay awesome. Go Birds.